Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
We commiserate over the struggles of the casual fighting game fan. Twitch's new TOS has creators looking at Kick, and the Christmas Carol leads us into a short history of Metroid. That's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Casters Guild. I'm your Guild Master Ric Perry, and I am starting this episode with a shot of Bahamian rum.
And I'm your Guild Master Baron Kane, and every time I played Fable, I was a teetotaler.
And joining us again is a returning guild member. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm returning guild member Billy, and I have some water with ice in it. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's all I got for you.
Yeah, so speaking of Fable, we got a new trailer for the game coming out.
Right?
Yeah, I saw that. The bloke from IT Crowd's in it.
Yeah.
I don't get how he belongs with that game, but at the same time, it kind of felt right the whole time.
Yeah, it did. The reveal at the end. Can you spoil trailers? Like, people who haven't seen the trailer, can I spoil the trailer for them at this point?
I mean, get wrecked. You should have seen it by now if you're a fan.
What are you spoiling, though? I mean, what is there to spoil? It's just...
The reveal is that he's like a giant at the end of it. Like, it's like he's just like a dude, like a farmer, and then like at the end you find out he's a giant. And I think the whole thing's put together real well. It captures the epic scale yet British humor that the game originally encapsulated.
So you think he's part of the game? He's not just part of the advertising?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I just think the advertisement did a really good job at encapsulating the vibe of the original game.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. It really did. But yeah, I got a real Jack of the Beanstalk kind of vibe, which would be different from the Fable. You know, it'd be kind of cool to fight some giants instead of other people.
That would be crazy. But
they've got to at least have a giant quest if they're going to put that in the trailer.
Hey, they should be able to pull off. It's it's guys from Forza Motorsport. They can pull that off. That's so hard to believe for me. I don't get it
either. To use that engine, I don't understand.
Yeah, I remember that from one of your old episodes. That was highly confusing. That a race car game lends well to a actual.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I mean, at the very least, it'll hit a nostalgia button for me. So. Yeah,
it's going to be a Xbox PC exclusive, so that's going to be a little rough on my rig. You can call it a rig.
I mean, hell, it's going to be rough on mine now, and mine's, it's okay now, but, I mean, by the time it comes out, no way. I don't even think I'm going to be able to play Starfield, which also had some footage released.
Well, I know you can't play that in Star Wars.
I can't?
No, nobody can. Seems like the system requirements are just so much.
Yeah, that's why I had to just get it on console. I was like, I'm not even going to mess around with it.
Yeah, I was a little upset. Like, I was like, oh man, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to play this. Wait a minute. My kid has a PS5. Gonna take it.
PS5 to the rescue.
Yep.
Yeah, I had the same dilemma with Street Fighter 6. My poor computer just would not be able to take Street Fighter 6. It could barely play Street Fighter 5, and Street Fighter 4 is consistent, mostly. So Street Fighter 6 was completely out of the question. So I got that on PlayStation 5. Having a really good time with it.
It's good to hear that it's good. I've been out of the fighting games for a while. I'm at this weird conjuncture where I'm better than all of my friends who don't play fighting games because none of my friends play fighting games. But I'm completely trash when I go to play anyone online. So
same.
I have no one to play with. I either just have a frustrating time playing online or my friends are all just like, no, we don't want to play you. And so I end up just playing against the computer or doing the quote-unquote story modes in each of these fighting games. So I just kind of stopped buying them.
Well, Street Fighter 6 is the game for you. There is a robust story. There's 3 different styles of controls. There's the classic style, the modern style, and there's, I can't remember what they call it, but what is basically the let your kid play against you, they button mash, and whoop your ass every single time style, which is what the kid does to the basis. So that actually solves your problem of all your friends not being as good as you.
That's
You
true.
get to that style, and it's one button combos. It's actually a pretty good time.
Yeah, I think I might pick it up. I have a backlog that I'm working through right now. I am still playing Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't finished that yet
With that as well.
because who actually has finished Tears of the Kingdom? And then I have that Star Wars game we were just talking about, Jedi Survivor, is still in the plastic. And then GameStop just had a buy one get one free sale on a list of new games. And I shouldn't say new; they're not like new as in they just came out, just new as in not pre-owned.
Yeah, you plugged that Discord. Cheap plug.
But I picked up No More Heroes 3 and Elden Ring. So maybe after I work my way through all of those, Street Fighter 6 will be on some sort of sale and I'll pick that up.
Yeah, if you're not a big fan like me, that's definitely a sale item.
Yeah.
Speaking of fighting games,
Yes,
did you hear the first Mortal Kombat is coming out?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 again.
This
Pretty-
is making
pretty
the
excited.
third or fourth reboot of the entire...
I don't know what you're talking about. It is clearly Mortal Kombat 1.
I would say this is probably the third reboot.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on. Yeah,
Hey, y'all talking foolishness.
Just
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat loves resetting that timeline.
Look,
yeah, it's
now,
the DC Comics fighting games.
Yeah.
it is Mortal Kombat 1. Liu Kang the Fire Gun created the Mortal Kombat universe just like he did in the other one. It is good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The thing with Mortal Kombat that's got me, I don't know if fatalities have a place in video games.
Oh,
Because
right,
Mortal
right.
Kombat. What are they going to do? I've seen some of the new fatalities, and they're pretty creative. But it's like watching a Final Destination movie in video game form. After a while, it kind of loses its edge, and you're just watching. It's just dumb.
I feel like fatalities died when they let you buy them. When they started letting you buy fatalities.
Yeah, that's crap. Microtransactions are crap.
Yeah.
Big
And not even the microtransactions, but like you'd earn their combat coin or whatever, or you could buy the combat coin, and then you could spend combat coin for one button fatalities instead of having to put in the combinations or whatever.
I remember that. That's the Xbox 360 ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's when I think fatalities died. But that's also
don't
around
know.
the time they brought in brutalities, and I think those are cool if they'd continue working on their brutalities, because it actually takes a certain amount of skill to pull off a brutality. You have to win the match in a very particular way.
Right. So yeah, I think Mortal Kombat's kind of run its course in a way. I'll look forward to this new number one. Yeah, I'm sorry, the first one. I'm looking forward to the first one, but I will definitely pick that up on Steam sale of some sort when it goes under $30.
I will acknowledge it as the first Mortal Kombat when it goes to court and invents an entire new rating system for video games, like it did
Ow.
the first time.
That's quite the standard to hold to it.
Look, I think the only other way that Mortal Kombat can go is like when one of their new finishers, it's just going to have to be completely pornographic.
Oh, geez, no, not you, Kano. Oh,
Dick
Kano,
out.
what are you doing with Baraka? What are you doing with Baraka?
Wow, that's not where that fist goes.
Exactly. That's
His heart,
You know what?
his heart's not in there.
A good old-fashioned
I might-
Mileena oral fatality.
Oh, geez,
No,
that sounds
I'm
terrible.
I'm in for it. As
Oh,
the
that's
resident
deep.
monster fucker, I'm in.
Excuse me.
Huh?
Say again.
I said, as the resident monster fucker, I'm in.
Okay, I wasn't aware.
It's a lot of teeth.
I mean,
It's a lot of teeth.
It's not something I need to be aware about, but I
That's true.
wasn't.
That's true. That's true.
So how's that going for you?
Well, I have no more genitals. It's just they're gone, and it's not even like torn off. They're just baby smooth down there.
Worth it,
That's what I
though,
get
right?
for-
Oh no, like a Ken
That's what I
doll.
get for fucking around with the Fae. That's whew. Okay.
So yeah, I see why Mileena would be all right with you.
Nom nom.
Yep. So all that
Anybody
said,
got
I'm
a
not
good
even.
wait for that?
But all that said, I'm not even a Mortal Kombat fan. So I think I just brought it up because it was in the spirit of the conversation.
I've always been a fan of Mortal Kombat just because of how ridiculous it is. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like how I like Saints Row over GTA because it's ridiculous. Like I like Mortal Kombat because it's ridiculous. But, I mean, like any other fighting game fan, especially Mortal Kombat fans, I'll complain about it as the day is long.
Yeah, that's what we do as fighting games.
Yeah.
This character is not right. This character is overpowered. This character needs to be nerfed. There's a problem with everything in a fighting game.
And speaking of games with fans who complain about it all the time, as of the day of recording, Overwatch 2 just started a new season, and this entire season is tabletop RPG themed.
Okay.
All the new skins, a bunch of the new events, including taking down the Demon Lord. It's all TTRPG themed. And I think you'll appreciate this, Baron. One of the characters, Cole Cassidy, is famously voiced by Matthew Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
So they added a new voice line for Cole Cassidy, and it is simply him saying, "How do you want to do this?"
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's cool that they leaned him into that.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool that Blizzard's willing to spend the money to get their voice actors back in the booth for new voice lines like that.
Right.
They got to do something because, like I was just talking about how fans of this game like to complain about it, there's a lot wrong with Overwatch 2, and that PvE mode that they canceled, they are talking about adding new PvE modes, but they will all be purchasable. So you will have to buy the PvE modes, even though Overwatch 2 is a freemium game. They are adding PvE as purchasable modes.
So, what's PvE mode? I've heard this before. I know it stands for player versus environment, but my gaming career is mostly in retro gaming, so I'm not exactly sure what that means. That sounds like something.
So
Something else.
Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 have all essentially been PvP games. In other words, 6 players versus 6 players. They have been teasing PvE since Overwatch 1, and one of the big things that was supposed to change when going to Overwatch 2, because essentially it's the same game. I don't even know why they put a 2 on the end of it. One of the big changes that was supposed to happen is adding in a PvE mode. Basically, you put together a team of your friends, and you have like a story mode that you play through like co-op. So instead of playing against 6 other players, you play against like, you know, the game.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Which they have dabbled in. They've done a couple modes where it was almost like a tower defense kind of thing, where it's the same PvP maps, but they just throw a bunch of bots at you and you and your friends try to survive or whatever. But they had a whole story mode. Like, one of the cool things about Overwatch, and always has been, is there is a story behind every one of the characters that you don't play. You just know through comics they release, videos they release. Like, there's great big lore around Overwatch. And Overwatch 2 was supposed to bring in a PvE mode where you got to play a lot of this story. And they just canceled it entirely.
What was their reasoning?
Basically, they had been working on it for a long time, and what the release said is they looked at what they had done, and they looked at what they still had to do, and the time frame that they had to do it, and they were just like, we're not going to finish this. This isn't going to happen. We're not going to release something we're going to be happy with, so we're just canceling it. Which, as far as I'm concerned, just push it. Like, I've always advocated that don't release something that's crappy just because you have to release something, but just push it. Don't cancel the whole thing. But now instead they're making these little PvE missions that aren't the same thing. They aren't playing the story. They're just kind of new little side things that they've come up with. And they're going to release them one mission at a time. And each mission is going to be a paid mode. Like, you have to buy the mission.
Well, that's a bunch of crap.
Which it sounds like to me, the way they're doing it is not only will you have to buy the mission, but if you want to play through it with your friends, every single one of your friends has to buy the same mission.
Wow. So basically, they just made a big microtransaction for this whole thing.
Yeah. So as much as I love Overwatch, and as much as there is cool about it, it's still run by Blizzard. And I'm reminded of that over and over and over again.
I mean, it could be EA.
It could be. I doubt I'd be into it in the first place if it was EA.
I don't know. They make Fable games out of racing games.
True. That's very true.
I'm sure EA can make a action RPG out of UFC.
Sure.
Actually, that doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. It's like, wait a minute.
But yeah, I've got the same Blizzard problem with Overwatch that I had with WoW, where they keep doing stuff I don't like, and then they release some cool new shit. And I'm like, ooh, I want to play that. And then I have to remind myself that it's going to be bad. No matter how cool it looks. Like with WoW, I was playing Wrath and I hated Wrath of the Lich King. So I quit. And then they came out with Cataclysm and they showed us the Worgen. And I was like, Dapper Lycanthropes, I'm in. And I started playing WoW again. And then it still sucked. So I quit. And then they released Mists of Pandaria. And I was like, Kung Fu Pandas, I'm in. And then I was like, no, this is how they got me last time. This is how they got me last time. So I didn't play it. And so, yeah, I'm going to sit here and take a dump all over Overwatch. And then I'm going to go, they have a TTRPG season coming out. This is going to be awesome. So I love-hate relationship.
I have a similar relationship with wrestling. I understand. Totally understand.
Yeah. So, speaking of Blizzard, did they ever get that Blizzard problem figured out?
What are we talking
Where
about?
Blizzard was just a problem?
Like just a problematic company?
Yeah.
They fired a bunch of people and, released apologies and everybody, and they made a bunch of changes. Like, for example, that character I was talking about, Cole Cassidy. Mm-hmm. Cole Cassidy was originally named Jesse McCree, and they changed the character's name because Jesse McCree was named after one of the problematic people who got fired. So, gotcha. I mean, all of those people got fired, all the people who were accused, and they issued apologies and all that good stuff. So I'm not sure what else they could do, but
I just didn't know. Yeah. I know this is probably old news to a lot of people, but I just kind of stopped keeping track of Blizzard after all that stuff.
Yeah. I think they did everything they could. Let me put it that way. I mean, like, there's only so much you can do. You can't, like, undo the terrible shit that was happening. But they fired some people. They compensated some people. They issued some apologies. So,
I guess what else you gonna do besides fold the entire company, and that's not gonna help anybody.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was considering quitting Overwatch altogether, and I did for a while, but then they did that. And I was like, all right, well, that's about as much as you could do. So I started playing Overwatch again. But companies being problematic. Let's talk Twitch. So Twitch released a new terms and conditions, standard operating procedures, all that good stuff that had a bunch of really crappy stuff in it for creators. And then, like, less than a day later, they released a statement saying that they were going to repeal those changes because they realized how bad those changes were. And as of the day of this recording, they still have not made those changes.
I would like to point out, too, that their wording was, quote, missed the mark.
Right.
Which was very similar wording, if not exactly the same, with the Wizards of the Coast snafu.
Right.
When Wizards of the Coast did their shit, and they were like, it missed the mark.
I'm going to add that to my boxes of company apology bingo. Missed the mark, in quotations.
Missed the mark. After a on purpose, on accident leak of their new guidelines.
Mm-hmm. So
it's
a what?
It's amazing that this stuff doesn't get caught when it's coming up. There has to be somebody in the room that this isn't a good idea. People are going to rebel against it.
I would like to think that some of the D&D guys, like what's his name? Chris Parkins?
Chris Parkins, yeah. Chris Perkins.
Parnell. We're going Parnell. But Chris Perkins, I would like to think that he would have stepped up and said, guys, this is dumb.
There's only one way I believe that he didn't say something, and that's if he wasn't in the room. Because Chris honestly hasn't been doing as much with D&D as he was at one point in time. So I mean, he still works for them, like he's still a writer, but like he doesn't write as much stuff. He isn't a decision maker like he used to be. Like he's kind of like stepped aside. But like
I wonder if it's because he was trying to tell them the shit they were doing was dumb.
I wouldn't surprise me. And I think Jeremy Crawford, who is a decision maker and is like the last word as far as a lot of people are considered when it comes to like rules and stuff like that. I know he is still a decision maker, and I also find it hard to believe that he didn't say something.
Right.
Another website that's been under attack lately is Reddit. You guys been keeping abreast with Reddit?
No. I've never been a Redditor, so no.
I am an active Redditor. Redditors updating their API rules, and long story short, a lot of people. They missed the mark by a ton. They really did. They they're basically charging companies or charging apps millions of dollars to access their API now. So the most popular app on Android to access is Reddit. Is fun, and with the amount of different requests that they make to the API, it's going to cost them $50 million just to run this app.
That explains why I had a question about Minecraft, and it took me to Reddit, and it said, out of protest of the API, our page is going to be private. I was like, well...
Yes. So in retaliation to this, a lot of Redditors got together and promised to stop browsing the site, and to make things worse, all their most popular subreddits are black. They've gone dark. So it's a hell of a time to be a Redditor. It's pretty bad out there. There's a few guys that didn't get down with it because of various reasons. But for the most part, most popular subreddits are gone and will remain gone until Reddit fixes their stuff, which I would like to see happen, which is kind of hard for me to see happening because a lot of people, this is their life. Stopping Reddit stops their life. But I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Does Reddit double down? Do the people win?
So just kind of rewind this episode a little bit. Included in the new guideline update for Twitch, they added a tool to report branded content. So anybody can report branded content if somebody's streaming branded content. They have restricted creators' ability to advertise on stream. They no longer allow creators to insert burned-in video ads. That's ads that are not put on by Twitch, but put on by the creator themselves. They have changed it so streamers can't put in a logo that takes up more than 3% of the screen size.
So petty.
Yeah, they made all of these changes. A bunch of people spoke out. Twitch said, our bad. We're going to repeal these changes. And that was over a week ago.
Oh my gosh.
And they still have not been repealed. So, another thing, they made it so if you are streaming and making money on Twitch, you cannot mirror that stream anywhere else. So if you're a partner on Twitch and streaming, you can't make money off of that Twitch stream and also stream it to YouTube, TikTok, anywhere else. It just has to be Twitch.
Right. Jesus.
So yeah, a bunch of people who make their money off of Twitch now can't make their money on Twitch because they're not allowed to put in ads or do their sponsored content. And at the same time, they're not allowed to stream elsewhere to get it if they're streaming on Twitch. So yeah, with all of these changes, a bunch of content creators are talking about jumping ship from Twitch. And very recently, there was a Twitch partner who was on live stream on Twitch kind of complaining about a bunch of these changes. And someone who works for Twitch, who has since set their Twitter account to private, came into the stream and started to hassle this guy through his chat for 10 minutes. The streamer attempted to ban him from the chat, which he couldn't because he works for Twitch. And the guy ended up ending his stream early because he didn't want to deal with the guy hassling him on his stream.
Wow. That's quite that's a lot.
Yeah. So kind of fuck Twitch.
Yeah, fuck Twitch.
So speaking of that, if you're looking for somewhere else to stream, I don't know a whole lot about Kick. All I know is it gets a lot of crap from what's on Kick. Like apparently they're not very they don't police their content very much, so like a lot of stuff that you wouldn't want to watch ends up on Kick.
As like, in Kick Messenger?
No, there's a streaming service called Kick where people can stream just like you would with Twitch. But apparently there's like, Nazis and stuff on there.
Is YouTube not a viable thing anymore?
YouTube is viable if you want to go with YouTube. But the reason I bring up Kick is they just announced a bunch of new guidelines as well. Just like Twitch just announced a bunch of new guidelines.
Did they miss the mark?
No. If anything, I think they might be over-promising. We might have to see if they can actually deliver on this. But Kick is promising to pay streamers by the hour, whether you have one viewer or 100,000.
There's no way.
So that's kick.com, you say?
Correct.
Cool.
They're also promising to give streamers 95% of subscriber revenue versus Twitch's 50%.
What?
Mm-hmm. They're also promising 100% of on-site non-third-party donations. So if somebody comes on your stream and throws you a donation, you get 100% of it, not a percentage.
So kick.com. Cool.
Mm-hmm. So not only will you be paid...
kick.com.
So they're saying not only will you be paid hourly, but you'll, based off the number of hours you stream, but you'll also be paid a flat rate based on Kick's advertising. So they're going to throw ads on everybody's stream, whether they have one viewer or 100,000, and you'll get paid on those ads. Okay. You'll get paid more the more viewers you have, but no matter how many viewers you have, you will get paid. And you'll get your 95% of your subscribers' revenue. So if your subscriber is subscribing for $5 a month, you get 95% of that and 100% of the donations. So like I said, it sounds like an overpromise. That's my thing. I don't know.
Nazis.
Yeah, there are. You do have to deal with Nazis. Their site is apparently full of Nazis. So
also, if it's anything to do with the messaging app, that's probably not so great either.
From what I understand, it's a completely different company.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even spelled the same. Kick the Messenger is K-I-K, and this is regular
K-I-C-K.
Plain old Kick K-I-C-K.
Mm-hmm. Is it K-I-C-K?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, K-I-C-K. Man, we're giving these guys plenty of advertising. All right, so you can find me at SixSatBilly on Kick.com. we're gonna give this a chance here. You know, if I'm getting paid by the hour, I can stream in my sleep. We can.
That is one thing. It did say you have to be active on the stream. Like the one thing there was like, we're not paying sleeping streamers because like, you know, people do the sleep streams and stuff like that.
Which I thought was clever as fuck.
Yeah, but that is one of the catches. You do have to be active on stream.
I love how that whole trend got started. Like, total accident. It fell asleep, woke up to so many people just donating. Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't see any Nazi activity yet, but I'm also not looking.
Yeah.
There's some Fortnite. There's some guy high on shrooms in Miami. This seems like a pretty good mixture of stuff, yeah. So I'm gonna take a backseat to that right now.
Billy, you go ahead and you browse that site after this episode's over, and come back to us on the Discord and tell us what's going on with Kick.
Yeah, I will actually. I have homework, and keep me on the Discord. Remember, Casters Guild Discord. There'll probably be a link in the description of this podcast.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, with everybody talking about leaving Twitch, even Ninja himself is talking about leaving Twitch because he's like, with the way these Twitch guidelines are set up, I can't make money, and all of my money is made from streaming. So he was like, I'm leaving Twitch most likely. So they're gonna either have to make some changes, or they're gonna lose a whole bunch of people to Kick or YouTube or some other service.
Also, find me on Kick at Baron Kane.
Hold on, let's find each other.
Oh,
just make sure you guys do some real research on this stuff before you sign anything.
Holy shit! It actually pulled your name right up too. That's crazy.
Well, yeah.
So like everybody else, I'll just put in a name, and it's like, well, you spelled it a little wrong, or they just signed up, so it might take a while. No, yeah. Immediately pulled up. Well,
it's still a young site, so I mean, you can still get stuff like easy
That's
names
fair.
like Peter.
It looks just like Twitch, though. It looks just like
Twitch.
It
looks exactly like Twitch.
Identical.
Just green instead of purple.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, let's see how this goes. I'll do some research. I'll get back to you. I don't do much game streaming myself. I've been doing test streams for about 3-4 months because I have a Retroid Pocket 3 that actually has the ability to stream off that screen, and I find that neat. So I keep trying to get that to work, and I haven't gotten a whole lot of success. What I have gotten to work is the microphone, and I didn't know I had the microphone working. So I'm sitting on my couch trying to stream Super Mario World or something silly like that, and talking to my wife at the same time. And their whole conversation is being streamed on Twitch because I had no idea the microphone. So those are the growing pains I'm having with my Twitch career at the moment.
Well, you can start over with your Kick career.
Mm-hmm. Now I know what's going on. Turning that microphone off and play widescreen Super Mario World. That's like my favorite game, widescreen Super Mario. It's a silly little thing, but it means a lot to me.
So you guys are both talking about starting your kick careers. Since you're going to be on camera, maybe you should look into a wardrobe, and you should check out tvillain.com.
T-Villain is a t-shirt site where you'll find a killer limited edition shirt being sold for $13 only while supplies last. Every Monday, the site features a new design by a new artist. We would tell you what's featured right now, but by the time you hear this, it's already changed.
They choose the most ingenious designs that reflect everything evil and villainy, as well as works pertaining to anything artistic, pulp style, lowbrow, pop culture, TV, movies, music, video games, comics, etc. All things cool and evil, basically. To check them out and help out Casters Guild, click our link in the description. So yeah, those shirts are going to look real good on y'all's streams.
I agree. It's a lot better than the shirt I'm wearing right now, actually.
What are you wearing right now?
Oh, I have a Beautiful Bobby Eaton t-shirt for your 3 listeners that may actually know who Beautiful Bobby Eaton is. One half of the Midnight Express. I'll just leave it at that.
Baron actually is wearing a T-Villain shirt right now.
The Jane Foster Thor done in the style of Tank Girl.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, I like it. She's got a little tattoo there. I really like the detail that went into this. Even like the broken Mjolnir here.
Mm-hmm. Just to prove we don't just sell this stuff. We actually do wear it.
Oh yeah, no, that's the only reason why we even whore them out is because we are already customers.
So if you guys are looking for if you guys are looking for another game to stream on your new Kick channels, they just announced Nick Cage as a character on Dead by Daylight.
Man, is there a more appropriate person for that game?
I'm just upset he's not a killer.
I have not really looked into this yet. What is his character?
He's just one of the survivors.
Okay.
So you could pick him if you're playing Survivor. I think they should have taken his character from what was that movie that he was in that was like a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff?
Oh, I know what you're
Wonderland?
talking about.
Willy's Wonderland. Willy's Wonderland. They should have taken his character from Willy's Wonderland and made him a killer.
I can see that.
So Nick Cage is playing a survivor as Nick Cage.
Yep. Not playing any of his characters from any of his movies. He's just Nick Cage.
See, I think they're missing out here on a kind of a zombie Con Air mashup. Or maybe even a face-off.
You could have a whole team of Nick Cage survivors. Just have them all be different characters from his different movies.
Oh yeah, we can have the whole game from the Nick Cage multiverse. That would be amazing.
That's going to be a movie eventually. You know it. It has to be.
It sounds like an SNL skit.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I'm pretty sure that was an SNL skit at one point in time.
Carrey.
Yes, that was true. That is true.
I mean, it was his family members, but yeah.
It was him meeting all his old characters. They did the same thing with Adam Sandler.
They did. It was the same premise, too. It was a family reunion.
Really?
Yep. And it was less funny because that's Adam Sandler. Sorry, I haven't found him funny
guy.
Since I know. It's not his fault that he's mediocre.
Honestly, I've enjoyed some of his more dramatic movies as of late.
You know, I haven't seen any of them, so I really probably doing myself a disservice. I haven't seen. What's the latest dramatic movie?
Uncut Gems isn't the latest, but Uncut Gems was good. Hustle, I think, is the latest. Hustle made me cry.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Now, to be fair, it wasn't Adam Sandler in that movie that made me cry, but I still cried during that movie.
Okay.
And it's on Netflix. Check it out.
I actually don't have Netflix. I decided to go against the whole Netflix thing when they changed their terms of service.
That's fair.
Yeah.
They repealed that quick, though, and actually repealed it.
Yeah, but they didn't repeal it in Canada.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. Yes, they didn't repeal it in Canada. So Canada, they can't, if you don't have the same household, you can't share a password. So they're like, hey, America, we got your back. Canada, screw you.
All right, Canada. Everybody in Canada, get a VPN.
Yes, please do. And if you're not in Canada, get a VPN.
Yeah. But I'm sure you could find that movie outside of Netflix. I know it was supposed to be like a Netflix exclusive, but, yo-ho.
Yo-ho. Yep, I'll figure it out. I always do.
Yeah, I even made a post on social media about it when it happened. I was like, the Adam Sandler basketball movie just made me cry.
Okay, so with Adam Sandler, I do enjoy his sports movie. He really does love basketball. Mm-hmm. It's evident what he thinks about it. And I myself am a former lover of basketball. that has been burnt too many times. But once in a blue moon, I still like to indulge.
Well, then
So
you'll probably
basketball.
really like that movie then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually looking into it as we speak. I am multitasking, and we'll see what we can do with this movie. That sounds like a good time. You guys seen any decent movies lately?
Well, we just went on and on about the Spider-Verse movie last week or this week.
No,
however you want to put on about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I watch. Well, I'm getting ready to watch. I have not watched yet, but last episode, Baron was talking about the 1994 Jungle Book with Jason Scott Lee and Carrie Elwes. So it's literally up on my screen, just waiting for me to press play. I just need a time for me and my wife to actually sit down and watch it.
It's anything with Jason Scott Lee is worth a watch.
Absolutely.
I watched that remake of White Man Can't Jump.
Well, that sounds like a mistake.
I thought it was gonna be. I literally put it on so I could laugh at it, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. No, it wasn't bad.
Is it worth watching? Would you recommend to somebody to give it a shot?
If you're not paying for it.
Okay, good enough.
Because
so it is worth your time.
I mean, I know the whole... It's difficult to see it changing from this being the title is White Man Can't Jump. The entire premise of the original one was like racial, right?
Yes.
This one, they acknowledge that and then move on from it. Like, they're like, that's not what this movie's about. So...
Okay.
Yeah.
I could dig that. So they're not going for the low-hanging fruit, basically.
No. Which I commend them for, because they could easily take the low-hanging fruit, run with it, and make some money off of that movie. But they actually put some effort into it. So, congratulations.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Not a movie, and I didn't see it, so it's, I guess, definitely beat both those criteria. But the first 5 minutes of Secret Invasion is accessible, though I have been unable to access it as of yet.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was like a little ARG campaign that was going on where you could...
Right, you go to the website and plug in the code.
Right, and I just haven't yet.
Okay, so it's not that you couldn't do it, it's just you haven't gotten around to...
Yeah, I just haven't.
Yeah, because to be fair, like, I wouldn't figure it out either, but like enough people have posted the code now that you can just find it and just go do it. That you see, this is why we're terrible guild masters, because if we were good guild masters, we would have watched that trailer by now.
No, we're terrible guild masters because we haven't been able to coerce our guild members to do it for us.
Yeah, okay.
That would be
I'll take that one.
Guild. Yeah. Well, either way, we're still bad. So
yeah.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I'm pretty excited for it. I haven't gotten into my superhero burnout yet, but I feel it coming. I feel my Marvel burnout coming, at least very, very shortly.
I felt it coming as I was watching Quantumania.
That's not fair. Quantumania wasn't... No, I mean... Quantumania isn't like the best movie.
That's kind of the point. Like, if this is the bar from now on, it's like, come on, Marvel, we can do better than this.
This whole phase has been the burnout period.
That's fair.
It was right after No Way Home. Checked out. I wasn't really too excited to see any of the movies. When I finally did see the movies, I was kind of disappointed. I didn't care for Black Panther 2. I was kind of there. Just all of them are just... I got burnt out. The TV shows have kept my interest stuff. I've actually enjoyed the TV shows.
Yeah,
which
I think
doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
I honestly think that that's probably going to be the direction they end up going. They're going to pump more into their TV shows, and then every once in a while do like a big movie kind of thing. At least I think they'd be smart if they did.
So just change their entire plan to TV shows instead of movies?
Yeah.
Or just do the majority of TV shows?
Well, I mean, I think like they should do a movie, like let's just say they had done all those TV shows, and then they did Infinity War and Endgame. Boom, there's your two movies. Now go back to your TV shows.
Keep your movies to like Avengers, because those are the ones that do the most money. Like, introduce the heroes and do the individual stories through TV shows, and then all the team ups are the movies.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I could support that.
And I do think it's sad, though, because it's like... so you got Sony pumping out these just stupid-ass movies. stupid ass live action movies, and then you have Marvel kind of phoning it in on their movies. Then they release the Spider-Verse movies. It's like how can you release that work of art? And granted, there's a lot of stuff that you can do in animation that you can't do in live action, but they've proven they can do a lot of good stuff in live action.
I think it just comes down to animators that care.
It always comes down to creators that care.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time. You can tell by watching the movie, the TV show, the cartoon, the webcomic, whatever the media is, you can tell immediately whether or not they care.
Mm-hmm.
You could watch Superman. What was that Superman? Man of Steel? You could watch that 15 minutes in, you could tell that Zack Snyder has no idea who's Superman.
Correct. Yes. And that's very well said too. And I keep wanting to forget, I should say, but I keep thinking of that fucking con that he was at, where he was like calling out the people who were not agreeing with his vision.
Right.
I'm looking at the director here of the Spider-Man movie. His name is Joaquin Santos. And looking at the stuff he's done in the past, Justice League Unlimited, Avatar, The Last Airbender, G.I. Joe Resolute, The Legend of Korra, Voltron, Legendary Defender, plus co-director of, this man's got around.
Yeah.
This is quite the resume. He directed half the episodes of Justice League Unlimited, which is probably my favorite animated series of all time, including the final episode, which was really well done. Yeah, this man, he cares. And it's obvious. He puts a lot of care into it.
Okay.
But since we're on the subject, I should have burned this last week. I have a guild decree to burn.
Go for it.
And it is, as far as I'm concerned, it is confirmed. As far as I'm concerned, it's canon. However, to quell the naysayers, to compound this fact, to really cement it in, Gwen Stacy is trans.
Hell yeah, guild decree.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even a question I don't even think it's a question to us three at all.
At least Spider-Verse Gwen Stacy.
Well, that's right. You haven't seen it. That's right. Yeah, Spider-Verse.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen enough rumblings online. I don't care about spoilers, so I will read them because I have a very short memory, and I will forget and watch the movie and be super surprised. So I've caught all the trans rumbling, and
basically, she has a trans pride poster in her room.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad, a cop, has a trans flag patch on his uniform.
That's the one that sells it for me, because like a poster in her room, that she could be an ally.
Right.
Her police captain dad having a patch on his uniform, that's not your average everyday ally. That's like, my kid is trans. There's
also a scene where she's standing there, and like, how her environment is all watercolory. The trans colors were behind her,
mm-hmm. Which almost always is in her universe or her focus scenes.
Oh, yeah. Right. So yeah, definitely, and I like that move. It's good. It's a good move.
Yeah.
So while we're on the subject of Spider-Man, I do have sad news. You guys haven't heard.
Oh yeah, I have.
John Romita Sr. passed away at the ripe old age of 93. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's sad, but the man had been around for a while. Very influential. He helped create Mary Jane, Luke Cage, Wolverine, the Punisher. It just goes on and on.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure we said something about him.
Yeah.
And his son. His son is actually one of my favorite Spider-Man artists.
Yes, I love his Spider-Man work. Oh, I love his Spider-Man work.
I think the first comic I saw him do was a Spectacular Spider-Man. And that was great. I loved it. I think it's because, too, it was different. It was so different than everything that I'd seen before. Even, like, Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man, it just seemed like, I don't know, I couldn't get into Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man.
I could, but it was definitely a product at the time. It doesn't hold up very well.
Yeah.
Right. I was never a fan of the edgy 90s. I like to pretend I was, but I wasn't.
Okay, so So we all agree that that Disney does a great job with their TV shows, their Marvel TV shows, their Star Wars TV shows. Disney is killing it when it comes to TV shows. Sony owns the movie rights to Spider-Man. Disney owns the TV rights. So
there's got to be a reason they haven't done something.
Let's get an anthology TV show a la Star Wars Visions, a la Marvel What If, with Spider-Verse. Every episode is a different Spider-Man, done by a different director, a different animator. Let's get a Spider-Verse anthology show, Disney. Get on it.
That sounds fantastic. Who would you do first?
It's difficult to say because, I mean, you got to imagine if they're just going to do it, right, with what they have right now, they cannot connect it to the current Spider-Verse because that is Sony's property, right? So if they did Miles, it can't be the Miles from this Spider-Verse. If they did Gwen, if they did Miguel, if they did any of the Spider-Men that Sony have thrown in their Spider-Verse, they have to do it different. Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's kind of what I want is those Spider-Men. But it is what it is.
So you get the original Spider-Man every week. New actor, new director, new team, new everything. Different feel, different villain.
And you could even, if Disney's doing it and it did it similar to like Marvel's What If, they could easily do a team up as the season finale.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Book it, Dano.
But ideally, they would talk to Sony, and Sony would come off of the rights for Spider-Verse for the TV show, and they'd get some of those Spider-Men. I still think they should do some new ones. Another cool thing that you could do, since you own the rights to the TV shows, is some of the episodes could be like sequels to some of the old TV shows.
Huh.
Because they own the rights to those TV shows. So they could revisit those universes.
I saw a small article talking about X-Men 97 and how Spider-Man, the cartoon, the original animated series in the 90s, deserves a reboot, or at least a remake in the same kind of way as X-Men 97. And I hard disagree. Have you actually seen that show lately?
It's it's something.
It's rough.
I loved it as a kid. I'll say that.
I loved it as a kid too, but man, they had like it was like a hardcore code on there where they couldn't kill anybody.
Yep.
There was no blood. There was no shooting of a gun.
Right.
It was a stark contrast to what was the competition at the time. Man, series.
I think there was a whole thing where like he wasn't allowed to punch people either. Like that's why he used his web a lot more, because like he wasn't allowed to like directly punch somebody in the face.
Yeah, the show was neutered from the start.
Yeah,
and I just do not agree that it needs a revive because I don't want to see that anymore. If I'm going to have an animated Spider-Man, I'd rather have what you.
Well, redoing it might be what it needs. Just don't neuter if you're going to redo it, don't neuter it like the original was.
Bust out the old striped shirt for Peter Parker.
They sell them at Box Lunch.
Do they really?
Yeah, that exact polo, you can buy it at Box Lunch. It's kind of fantastic.
I am looking that up right now.
Did you guys bring up, I think I missed it, like that whole thing, that's why Morbius had the weird powers he had in that cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
Fun story, though, very related. The Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from around that time, they did a crossover with, at the time, the current Turtles, and like they did like across the universe kind of stuff, and they were fighting the bad guys, and never once did they use their weapons. And the Turtles now were like, "Are you guys not using your weapons?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" And they hack off like a fire hydrant hose, and they're like, "Why do you even carry them?"
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was well done. And I love the fact, and completely off subject now, but I love that they brought the original Turtle voices back for that episode. So
very important.
God, I can't believe the people who were those voices. Like, it had to have been the first time I ever heard those voices, and just never caught on that they just went with me all the way through my cartoon career. Yeah, it's crazy.
The people who voiced your childhood.
I know. Now I just kind of want to go back and see all the different people who started it. Like Frank Welker. Come on. He's been there.
Yeah.
Forever.
Lorenzo Music.
Oh, what does he do?
Garfield.
Yeah, oh yes. Yeah, because then he did Peter Venkman in the Ghostbusters, which is why everybody was like, Bill Murray should be Garfield, and okay.
I love the story of how he came about to play Garfield. Is the dumb thing. Are you aware of how he played Garfield, how that came about?
I believe I was told the story once, but it's gone. It's completely gone. I think I threw it away. So hit me with that brand new story.
All right, so he saw that it was written by a Joel Cohen, and he thought it was somebody else. So he just said, I'm going to do this movie. And then he found out who was actually written by, and he was like, oh, shit. He was already locked in.
That's such a Bill Murray fucking story.
It really is. He thought it was the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, God. He actually believed the Coen brothers would do Garfield?
I mean, why not? You got to follow up Big Lebowski with something.
Oh,
you go from the dude to the cat who hates Mondays. It's a natural progression.
I mean, if you look at Garfield, I mean, if there's anybody that's like Garfield, it's kind of the dude.
Yeah.
You know, Garfield's a little more aggressive than the dude, but he's real zen. You know, he kind of just lays around, eats his lasagna. I almost said garlic. That'd have been terrible. Yeah, I think it's a natural progression.
Yeah.
I can see where Bill Murray got that idea from. But then he made a sequel, and I don't think he had an excuse for that one.
Or maybe he accidentally signed up for a 2-picture deal.
Oh, I don't know. He might have.
Again, very Bill Murray thing to do.
Well, he thought two brothers were involved, so he went ahead and signed on for 2 movies.
Now, I will say this: not only is it a Bill Murray thing to do, I don't know if he did, but the other Bill Murray thing to do would be to complain about it the whole time.
That would be the Bill Murray thing to do, and then write a book about it.
Yeah, just in case anybody wonders, we here at the Guild are not Bill Murray fans. Oh wait, no, I'm not a Bill Murray fan. I here at the Guild am not a Bill Murray.
I used to be until some more about his personality came out in the last 10 years or so. So now I'm just I'll always have Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
I am every year going to watch A Very Merry Christmas every year.
Yeah, we have Scrooge, we have Groundhog Day, and Ghostbusters. There's some stuff out there, but for the most part, if he makes anything new, I don't want anything to do with it.
I don't even need Scrooged anymore. I have that Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds movie now.
Oh yeah,
Spirit, something. I don't know.
It exists.
Yeah, I have that now. No, Scrooged was good though. Scrooged was good.
I'm still stuck on Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, that's
a good one.
Yeah, I watch that every year.
I think we turned into a Violet Night house for Christmas movies.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. That was really good. That was surprisingly good. God, now I want to watch it again. It was shockingly good. If anybody hasn't watched it, man, David Harbour is as Santa Claus, man. Get to it.
He played the best Hellboy he possibly can in that movie.
Yeah. The very best Hellboy I've seen him play.
Yeah, a lot better than that other guy.
Right? Yeah, whoever that was.
So, speaking of Christmas movies and A Christmas Carol, who would like to throw A Christmas Carol into Metroidvania?
I would.
There's a new Metroidvania on the horizon. There's a trailer available for it called Ebenezer and the Invisible World, where you play as Ebenezer himself after the events of The Christmas Carol in a Metroidvania-esque game.
This game is complete nonsense, and I love it.
Look.
It is. No one asked for this. Nobody wants this, but I love it. I love everything about it. It is a Metroidvania, which is always a good, easy throwback game to have.
Mm-hmm. 2D Metroidvania at that.
It looks fun. Ebenezer has like assistants, little guys that help him out, little ghosts. I think they are.
Yeah, they're the ghosts. Yeah, and a few others. Like it's obvious he's got a larger team than just past, present, future, and I don't know what the original Ghost is called because there's 4 ghosts in the story, and then there's the Marleys, which
it's the 4 ghosts in the story are it's supposed to be past, present, future, and Marley.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right.
Then there's the Marleys, Marley, and so like, but there's more than just the 4. They've added more, so I don't know who the other ones are, but yeah, the animation on it looks fantastic.
It looks like a hoot. It's kind of Dead Cellsy for those familiar with the game Dead Cells. As far as the real clean animation, it is a classic Metroidvania side-scrolling platforming game. It's perfect. It is the kind of game that I don't expect to spend more than $20 for. Will probably spend.
There is a demo available for it right now.
Oh, is there? Is it on Steam?
It is on Steam. So I'll link it in the description of this episode. It'll also be available on our Discord.
Fantastic.
I have wishlisted it, so as soon as I know what price it is, it'll as soon as it announces its price, it'll tell me.
Cool, this is fun. Pretty excited.
And what was it called again?
Ebenezer and the Invisible World.
Wow, I just put in an EB and it was right there.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a pretty late comer to these Metroidvania games. Once I started getting into retro gaming, I started playing Metroid 2 on Game Boy. Like the old school. And that game is all kinds of fun, even for an old green screen Game Boy.
Yeah.
I'll find a remake on Android, an AM2R, which stands for Another Metroid 2 Remake.
That's a good one.
It is the exact same game with updated graphics and a little bit more of a role-playing kind of aesthetic to it. It is a really good time. And I think if it's not free on Android, it's very cheap.
It's not confirmed because Nintendo would never confirm something like this, but it is highly rumored. It's highly rumored that Metroid Samus Returns exists because of AM2R.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That AM2R did so well that they decided to remake the game themselves, and that's why Samus Returns exists.
Guild confirmed.
Oh yeah, Nintendo would never say that.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. Like, if we ever start saying, oh, no, this is true, and then someone comes up to us and is like the company, it's like, I don't know why you're spreading these rumors. It's like, hey, it's Guild Decree. That's what told us it was.
You can't argue.
Just because you don't believe in it doesn't make it less true.
Right. Jeez.
Which, one thing I can confirm is if Samus Returns hadn't sold so well, Metroid Dread wouldn't exist. Which is a fantastic game if you haven't played it. And so, in a way, AM2R is responsible for the revival of the Metroid series as a whole and Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread. Is that the Switch game?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not played that one.
It's fan-fucking-tastic. But it's probably still full price and all that good stuff, so.
Yeah, I have not played any Metroids above... Oh, what is the one on Game Boy Advance called?
Fusion.
Is that what it's called too?
Fusion was the first one on Game Boy Advance, yeah.
Yes.
That was Metroid 4.
Zero Mission.
Zero Mission. Okay, so Zero Mission is a remake of the first Metroid, I believe.
Okay. I never played the first one. It's too... I just couldn't get into it.
Well, if you've played Zero Mission, then there you go.
Then I have.
So yeah, you can kind of... Because... Zero Mission is a remake of 1, so you don't have to play 1, you can play Zero Mission. Samus Returns is a remake of 2, so you don't have to play the Game Boy 1, you can play Samus Returns. I don't think they ever redid 3. And then Fusion is 4, which Fusion was my entry point into the series, because I had a Game Boy Advance and I bought Fusion. And Fusion is currently available as one of the free games if you've got the Nintendo Switch Online service.
Okay.
And Fusion's really good. Love that game. I put Tears of the Kingdom down last week, or I should say this week, I guess, just for a little bit. And within like 2 days, I played through all of Metroid Fusion just because it was available. And I just finished that up a couple days ago, my 2-day playthrough of Metroid Fusion, and like I had a blast with it.
Good palate cleanser.
And then they didn't have another mainline entry into the Metroid series because they did Other M and they did Metroid Prime, but none of those are within the same line as the previous Metroid games. They didn't do another mainline entry until Metroid Dread. So between Game Boy Advance and Switch, there was nothing.
Wow.
So But Switch, you get Metroid Dread, which is a direct follow-up from Fusion. We're talking if you watch where the story ends at Fusion, like you could butt those cutscenes up against each other, and like it goes right into Metroid Dread. So, yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
Well, thank you for the education on Metroid. I'm still learning a ton about the retro games and how they evolved into what we have now. That's I'm gonna have to look into all of that.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of Metroid ever since Fusion, and then I kind of went back and kind of educated myself after playing that as a youngin'. And Metroid Dread, I got so into that, I went ahead and 100%ed that game. I found every hidden E-tank and every hidden missile container and all that good shit. It was really good.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely look into Metroid Dread. But okay, so I will follow your directions here. So I want to start with the first Metroid. Okay, I got you. I'm on board.
Awesome. Yeah, and if you do like Metroidvanias, I think my favorite is Hollow Knight. But I don't think I'm in a minority there. I think a lot of people sing that game's praises.
I just started playing Hollow Knight earlier today.
Yeah, that's fantastic game.
Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty good time.
On the subject of games, and just not necessarily what we were just talking about, I just found out that if you're interested in the Assassin's Creed franchise, Steam has it for like 70% off, 85% off. It's you can get Assassin's Creed Odyssey for $11.99, Valhalla for $14.99. I'm legit about to get Assassin's Creed Origin for $8.99.
That's pretty good.
It's 85% off. And if you liked Odyssey and Valhalla, Origins is the thing that kicks that off. Origins is the engine that they use to run Odyssey and Valhalla. But I also want to get Assassin's Creed 3 remastered because that one always fascinated me because it was set in the Americas and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to get both. And then I probably won't get DLC because I don't know. I haven't even gotten the DLC for Odyssey, and that's by far my favorite one.
Damn, they are all on sale.
I'm telling you, man.
Do I want to go back and play Black Flag again? Do I want to do that?
$11.99. I mean, it's pretty cheap.
It's like, I wonder what, because like if you go to the Assassin's Creed page on Steam, like it isn't advertising a sale. So I wonder if like it's a Ubisoft sale or something that's going on that like.
I don't know.
Oh man, they are all on sale. Jeez,
it's stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
cool.
like for a lot. And what? Hold on. There was if you wanted to get the Assassin's Creed bundle, which is like 12 games. Unity, Rogue, Syndicate, Creed, just Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3 remastered, Freedom Cry, the hell's that? Assassin's Creed Origins, and I think like the other two, it's like $96. That's like a normally $424 for $96.
Jeez, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, while trying to figure out why this sale is, I just found out, unrelated, Obsidian is doing a 20th anniversary sale, and every Obsidian game is on sale. So you can get Fallout New Vegas for like $250. You can get Fallout New Vegas for like $250.
Ooh. Oh no. Oh wait, that means their other game has to be on sale then too.
All of them.
There's Space Game.
Yeah, Outer Worlds. Yep, it sure is.
That's a good game.
It is, and the South Park games, they're on sale too.
Is that Obsidian?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. So Ubisoft is doing sales on several of their franchises. There is a franchise sale on Assassin's Creed, a franchise sale on Watch Dogs, and Anno. I never heard of Anno. A-N-N-O.
Hey, now something that did catch my eye is the new Prince of Persia game. Have you seen any of the footage from that?
I've heard some people talking about it.
I have not, but I've always been a Prince of Persia fan.
I have not been a Prince of Persia fan in the past, but I am a Prince of Persia fan now. This game is fun. It is another Metroidvania, but it's anime style.
Nice.
So everything is animated. It's got cutscenes in between, of course, like every game does now. The animation for the battles it's gorgeous. You got to check this out when you get a chance. A lot of people were complaining because it is basically a Metroidvania platformer style game. They wanted a 3D game. But I really like exactly what they made here.
So it's more of a throwback to like
Oh yeah,
the original Prince of Persia's.
it is. Just modern day graphics and pretty and better gameplay.
It's the original one, right? Oh, this is the one that came out in 2008. Oh man, that was silly.
The movie was terrible.
I didn't even give it a shot.
Yeah,
I forgot.
It's bad.
I forgot it existed. Thank you for bringing it up.
But like we've often discussed about how long we waited to get good video game movies.
Yeah, there's a couple good spurts in the 90s, but it was onesie twosies, and it depends on your definition of good. Like I think Street Fighter is a great movie, but I've been the minority there.
You mean the animated one, right?
No.
They tried to give you an out.
No, it's Raul Julia. I can't. He's the best.
And
I watch it to enjoy him and to enjoy Jean-Claude Van Damme, just as horrible as he is.
I will forever remember the M. Bison, for me it was a Tuesday speech.
It's a fantastic line.
It is.
And the only person that could deliver it would have been Raul Julia. No one else.
Yeah.
had a very, very early Ming-Na Wen as well. You may know her as the voice of Milan and the agent. I can't remember her name, but the agent from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she was very recently in the Book of Boba Fett as Fennec Shan, I believe. Yeah, she's all over the place.
But speaking of video game movies, Super Mario Brothers is doing really well in the box office.
What? No way.
Only 1.3 billion.
I can't believe they re-released that movie.
They didn't, Baron.
They fucking didn't.
So Nintendo, according to industry insiders, is working on closing another deal with Illumination for another one of their big franchises, The Legend of Zelda.
I mean, we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming.
As long as they made money on Mario, which, man, they made money on Mario.
I just really, really hope that they don't... I don't know it's going to sound counterintuitive, but I really, really hope that they don't do Legend of Zelda like they did Mario Brothers.
They better not. They will alienate all fans.
Yeah, because Mario can get away with being silly.
Yep.
Zelda is not silly.
They've tried it a couple of times. It did not work.
Yeah.
Excuse me, princess.
Oh man, I know what you're talking about. That's sad.
Yeah.
Didn't you sit Spawn down and watch that?
We watched one episode, and that was enough. It was so bad. It was so bad. Link was a sex pest.
Mm-hmm.
Just the first episode, we established that, and then at the end of the episode, there was no
Link.
Yeah.
to keep watching.
Now is not the time to be a fuckboy.
Link's appearances in Captain N didn't do all that much better either.
No, not really. But I really liked Captain N. I would really love a live action version of Captain N.
I don't think I remember Captain N.
Ooh, Captain N, so good, so bad, but so
I was about to
good.
say, don't lie to the man. It wasn't good.
So good. Did they play it during the Super Mario Brothers Super Show?
I believe so.
They did. I remember that. I don't remember Captain N very well. Let me see if I can ring any bell here.
The concept of the character is great.
Okay, I remember now. I remember Kid Icarus and Mega Man being in it.
Yeah. And they every single one of them looked horrible.
Yeah.
Just horrible. I almost feel like Nintendo was like, you can use these characters, but you got to make them unrecognizable.
Well, I'm looking at this, and they had Game Boy, and Game Boy was voiced by Frank Welker.
Wow, yeah.
So here's my fear, okay? Mario is the highest grossing film of 2023 so far. It is the highest grossing video game movie ever. And just in general, it's really creeping up the list as far as highest grossing movie, period.
Right.
And I'm really worried that they're going to look at that and go, do that, but Zelda, because of how much money it made.
That's what I'm worried about, too.
And I don't think I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Illumination has ever done serious.
The same fear. There's money in Zelda taken dead serious. 100% serious Zelda. It needs to be a fantasy movie. They can't do the same thing they did with Mario Brothers. It can't be silly. Now I'm looking at the Illumination stuff, and nothing tells me that they're going to do anything.
You can have silly
did they
parts.
make a deal with Illumination?
They're in talks because Illumination is who did Mario.
Give it to DreamWorks.
Okay.
Give it to Sony.
Oh yeah, fuck around.
Well, be careful giving it to Sony, but give it to Sony.
Right. You'll never get it back.
To that guy who directed all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Who would you have play this? Zelda. That'd be pretty important.
But
I think we talked about this for some reason. I can't remember who we said. All right, let's fan cast right now. Who is it?
Hold on. What was the question?
Who do we cast as Link in Zelda?
Well, yeah, it's going to be voice actors, right? Because it's going to be animated.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Because it's going to be So nobody for Link.
Okay. Yeah, they don't need a voice actor for Link. They're going to give him one, but they don't need one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Once again, they're going to look at the success that they had with Mario, and they're not going to cast voice actors. They're going to cast big names.
Yeah.
Let me tell you someone who better be, if nothing else, at least a cameo in this movie. You better put Zelda Williams in that sumbitch
That would be great,
a cameo.
But I don't think they will. I don't think they have that kind of foresight, but they should. They should.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Nintendo has put her and Robin Williams in several commercials and stuff.
Right.
So
You're right. And Robin is in one of the either Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
Breath of the Wild. He might be in Tears of the Kingdom too. I don't know, but he's definitely in Breath of the Wild.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not named Robin, but like if you look at the character, obviously it's a homage.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
Really sweet of them.
here now, I talked about my fears, right? Here's something that makes me hopeful. The entire time they were making the Super Mario Brothers movie, Miyamoto was over their shoulder like the entire time and very involved with the process. So,
Like Nintendo does.
I knew Nintendo was going to be there. The fact that it was Miyamoto himself gives me a little bit more hope, right? Because if it's Miyamoto again, first of all, because he came up with the original idea for Zelda, but let's be real. Like, the series recently has been headed by Eiji Aonuma. Let's get Eiji Aonuma in there and have him over their shoulder the entire time they're making the movie. And if Eiji Aonuma is in there over their shoulder, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
That's fair.
And let Koji Kondo handle the music. They won't, but let him handle the music.
Oh, that sucks. I've actually ran into Robin Williams' character. I just never stopped to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because he's just a traveler.
Yeah. He's just a random guy. Like, they didn't... But yeah, back to your original question. Okay, so we know they're gonna cast big names.
Look, you should just totally go with who you think it should be, because no one would have ever guessed Chris Pratt and Charlie Day as the leads of Super Mario Brothers. No one.
Right. You're absolutely right.
Could people have guessed maybe Jack Black as Bowser? Sure, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But Chris Pratt and Charlie Day, no way.
Fuck, they need to just give Ganondorf to Mercer.
They should. They're not, but they should.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Billy, but in Tears of the Kingdom, the guy that's doing the voice of Ganondorf is the Critical Role guy.
Honestly, if I were to cast it myself, the voice cast of Tears of the Kingdom is so good. And I think the voice actress for Zelda, like, really stepped up her game between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Give the voice cast a Critical Role. Let Sam be Link.
Yeah. All right. So obviously, you should get on Discord if you're listening to this and tell us who you think should be the voice cast for the new Legend of Zelda movie. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Billy, if anybody liked what you had to say, is there anywhere they can find you on the internet?
All my socials are at 6sadbilly, all one word. You
Especially
can find
Kick.
me just about everywhere. especially on kick.com, Dick Stat Billy. I will be streaming myself sleeping for no particular reason.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Casters Guild. Email us at castersguild@gmail.com and come join us on our Discord. That's where all the fun stuff happens.
It really is. That's where all the fun stuff's going on.
And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye. Bye.